Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bigfoot Cooking, where today we're making 4 different hamburgers. Now for this show, we're going to start out from the simple to not necessarily complicated, but just different ingredients, different styles, something that a beginner might be able to get something from. And then for those of us that cook a lot, hey, recipes are always good, right? So we're going to start out this with just simple frozen hamburger patties, the kind that you go to the store, you get, they're in a big tube or stack or what have you. We're going to show you how to kind of cook and improve those. Then we're going to move it up to a level 4 Texas spicy burger. Yep, we're putting a little kick into our raw meat. From there, we're going to do a bacon wrapped bison burger, which bison is good on its own, let alone wrapping it with bacon. What could you do wrong with that? And we're going to top this off with a mushroom and Swiss with the meat that you might not be able to find in the grocery store, but you can order it online. So let's stick around. Let's get going, and let me show you how to start with the simple to the complex. Now, I had planned on doing this video outside on the grill, but the problem is the weather today. Right now it's sunny, but it's supposed to pour rain, and I just don't have the lighting out there. So we are cooking inside on a griddle. Now, when you're cooking on a griddle, the thing to remember, if you look at the backside, you can see where the heating element is. All you gotta do is flip it over and take a look. The position of that is going to determine a lot on how you're cooking, because basically you've got a hot spot around the edge. That's going to be the warmest part of the griddle. So remember that while you're cooking. So let's get this guy heated up and let's start to make it. Now, like I say, to start this party, good old frozen hamburgers. We're just going to, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's spray the grill. Even though this is a non-stick surface, insurance is not a bad thing. So we're going to put a good little coating on it, kind of like painting a car. As I keep being told, I keep spraying it like I'm painting a car. And we are just going to set these guys down. Now, there's no need to season them yet, because they're with them being frozen, if you sprinkle anything on top of it, it's just going to bounce off of it. So we're going to cook this for about a minute or so on this side, let it loosen it up, and then flip it over, and then start the seasoning. Watch and see. And now that we've given it about a minute, let's flip these guys over, and you'll see they're far from done, but they're starting to soften up on the top again where they'll hold the spices. So now let's add a little bit of flavor to it. You want just a pinch, not an incredible amount. Salt is one of those things that you put too much, you're done. There's no saving it. Other things you can work around, but just a little pinch of salt on each side. And then we're going to add all the rest of our spog. That would be salt, pepper, onion, and garlic. Just because you're using cheap meat don't mean it's got to taste like it, right? You might as well serve your guests something that's worth serving them. So we'll let this cook for a few minutes, get the other side hot, flip it over for the last time, and put more spog on it. Now, while we're waiting about 3 minutes on that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this homemade garlic spread, which is nothing but butter and garlic and a couple of herbs and stuff. We're going to go ahead and get these on the buns. That way we can toast them once we flip them. All right, we got about 3 minutes on this side. Let's go ahead and do the flip. And like I say, once you flip them, don't forget the flavor. Now, while the other side's cooking, let's go ahead and take our buttered buns, and we'll just set them right here and go ahead and start toasting them up. That way they're nice and brown, and you got a little bit of crunch, a little bit of extra flavor, a little bit of the way a burger is supposed to be made to go along with these more inexpensive cuts of meat, shall we say. All right, we got a minute. Let's see what we got. Ooh, toasting up nicely. Tell you what, I'm going to leave them a little bit light, but we're going to have a nice set of flavor profiles on this here stuff. Ooh, look at that. That's what I'm talking about right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip these one more time, and when I do, I'm going to add the cheese. It gives it a chance to melt. Just about ready. Let's go ahead and get us a little bit of slaw. That's right, we're doing this baby up. Put you a nice little bit on the base right there. Gives it a little something to dream about later on. What, you never had a slaw burger? Oh, we're about to elevate your lifestyle. Cheese is melted, burger is done. Let's see, let's take the first one, slide it right on to the second one. That way, everybody comes off as a matching married pair. Present it right to the burger. get their formal introductions done. We'll turn this guy off because I don't need him for a minute. And we're gonna do up, come on, this is traditional. You got your slaw, little lettuce, little tomato, all right? Gotta do this thing just like you're supposed to. Oh, can't forget ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise, onion, all those things, right? The trifecta of a burger. Throw a couple pickles on top of this guy. And what have we got? Dinner, just wait. Tell you what, we will slice this guy in half just because, you know, we can, being a cooking show and all. Normally I wouldn't, but we want to see the layers, right? You got that burger, you got that slaw, you got onions, you got everything tucked in there except the tummy. Taste test time. No, that's not bad. This is how you take the more inexpensive stuff and just with a few spices and technique, man, you serve this to your friends, they won't know. Shh, I won't tell. This is the struggle sandwich, made daggum right. So I'm gonna eat the rest of this and then we're gonna get on with the next one. That's right, the level 4 Texas Spicy Burger. Stand by. Now for this level 4 burger, what we've got a pound of ground chuck. It's 80-20, that's 80% meat, 20% fat. You want at least that to get the good flavors out of it, and it kind of helps hold the burger together on the grill, because believe it or not, without the fat in it, it crumbles a bit. So we're gonna take our nice pound of meat, set it in here. You actually don't want to work this a whole lot. We're not trying to make meatloaf. If we were, you would mix and mix and mix, but you want to disturb the meat as little as possible, but you got to get all the ingredients mixed in. So let's get to the flavors. We're going to start out, of course, with a nice big pinch of salt here. You know, our spag mix, salt, pepper, onion, garlic, but in this case, we're also adding heat. We've got some red pepper flakes from, I really wish I knew what pepper this was. It is an incredibly spicy pepper, and my neighbors actually gave me the peppers before he passed away. So I never got a chance to ask him what level of hell he put in these peppers, but they taste good and they got some warmth. So we're gonna mix this up, like I say, just enough to barely get things going and get it ready for patty shaping. Now, when you're making these patties, you don't want to take and just try to mash this meat together. Otherwise you get just a giant lump of meat, not really what we're after. And the more you manipulate it, the more it cracks. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of work our patty out. This is an 8-ounce patty. So this is, I think they call it pub size. It's a good sized burger. So we're gonna make a little bit of a dish in the bottom. You've seen how they put their thumb in the middle? That keeps it from poofing up like a meatball. We're not wanting to cook meatballs, we're wanting to cook burgers. So we've got a nice simple dished meat. What we're gonna do, I'm gonna make the other one, we're gonna set them in the fridge, and then I'm gonna take and mix up the sauce to go on top of this while it's getting back cold again. Oh, wait and see. Now the burger was the first part of the heat. The second part of the heat is gonna be the sauce to put on it. We're gonna start with pretty much equal parts of mayo, ketchup, and some hot honey. That way you got the sweet with the heat. See, a good hot meal isn't just one level of death. You've got multiple layers of heat that hit you different ways at different times. That way you got the heat when you bite it, the heat as you chew it, the heat when you swallow it, and then that little bit of lingering heat to remind you probably did something stupid. Yep, that's what we want with this burger. So level 2, we're gonna mix equal parts of all 3 of these to make the sauce. And there you have it. Another level of heat for your meat. Let's get level 3 ready, the jalapenos. We gotta prep them just a little for the grill. Now for our level 3 heat, good old basic jalapeno, because we've got so many different layers of heat. You don't wanna come in with like a habanero or a scorpion, because that might be a little too much, even for my crazy self. Almost said a dirty word. So we'll start, we'll trim the end off of it. Now, generally with a pepper, the meat around the edge is not what's gonna bake you. It's this white in the middle and it's the seeds. So we're gonna try to eliminate some of that. We're gonna make jalapeno strips here. So that way we've got a nice cover for it. We're just gonna open this guy up. Let's see, we'll trim the end off. And you have your 3 parts to the pepper. We're just gonna slide this guys out of there. Say thank you for your contribution to the heat world. But today, we're wanting a little less heat and a little more sweet. Did you know that they actually make a heatless jalapeno? You can grow them. I don't know why, I mean, it's a jalapeno. Usually you want the heat, and I would if this was standalone, but not today. Today, just this guy right here. All right, so we got our cheese opened. Oh yeah, gotta have the pepper jack. You know that's going on here. We got our meat spiced, we got our jalapeno prepped, and we got our sauce. Now, it's time for the sizzle. Again, the less times you handle this meat, the better, because the more you do, the more you break the burger up. So we'll set him here, and him here, and we're just gonna give this a little bit to cook. Now, with something like this, you know, the little thin burgers, it's not hard to look at it and see, but something like this, you really, once you get this about 5 minutes on this side and about 5 minutes on the other, you want to take a temp probe and stick it into it because you want to make sure you get that internal temperature at 165. The reason why it's more important on hamburger than it is on like a steak is because the hamburger is so chopped and mixed and everything, there's a surface that's come together all over it, whereas a steak, you've got the outside, the inside's never been messed with. So that makes a big difference in bacteria, and nobody wants to get sick eating your food, ever. So let's give it a few minutes to sizzle, and we flip. All right, we got a good solid 5 minutes on that side. Now we're gonna come under it real quick and flip it over. Ooh, look at that nice little crusty, what is it, Maillard reaction? I don't know, I just know that's called flavor around here. We'll flip this guy. And yes, after handling meat, every time I'm washing my hands. I had somebody make a comment about that, and I'm like, no, I'm clean. I don't mess around with the meat and then touch the veggies. You gotta use sanitary conditions around here. So, another 5 minutes on this side, and then what we do, we start checking the temperature of the meat. We're just gonna slide a probe in it. Oh heck, we'll do it now. I'll slide this probe in here, and we're gonna keep an eye on the temperature of the meat. With the little thin burgers, you can go by the color, and with these, you could cut them in half and see if they're pink inside, but then that kind of messes up the presentation that you got going on. With a temp probe, you know you're safe to eat it, and that's highly recommended, especially for thick burgers like this. So we'll give it 5 minutes on the other side, and we'll check back in and see what we got going on. We got 5 minutes on the other side now, but our temp is only up to 111, so we are far from ready. And as much as it would tempt you to take and smash these burgers down to kind of help accelerate it, don't do it. What's going to happen when you do that, you mash all the juices out of it and you wind up with a dry burger. So what I am going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pull my probe back out. I'm going to flip these over one more time just so they don't burn on the other side. And we are going to keep the party started. We're going to keep the party going, and we're going to start toasting our buns. And we'll take a little bit of the grease, actually, that the burgers are kind of leaking out. Take our jalapeno, just set it right in there. That way we can go ahead and get that guy ready to go as we're toasting our buns. You might as well make the most of your time, right? Now for the buns on this one, we are using a sweet Hawaiian because you got to have a little sweet with all that heat. So we'll get these guys going so nicely, and once the burgers are done, oh, it's gonna be eating time. All right, we're waiting on 165, but our burgers have hit 160. So now it's time to take and slide on the third layer, or the fourth layer. I don't remember at this point. The pepper jack cheese. That way it's got time to melt into the burger. Because yes, you can put it on at the end, but bro, you put it on now, that way it gives time to wrap around and enjoy and whoo. Look at there. Nothing like a grill press to help make your jalapeno nice and flat too. Oh yeah. This is going to be something to talk about if you can talk through the heat. All right. All our magic numbers have been met. Our cheese is getting a little melty. Let's go ahead and set this guy on the buns. and let's decorate like it's Christmas. Ooh, look at these bad boys. Now let's take our nicely grilled jalapeno single pepper. You like that? That way you get the heat from the whole pepper. Oh yeah. We're gonna take a little bit of our kickin' spicy infused, I don't know what you guys wanna call this. Y'all think of a name and put it in the comments. But I tell you what, I know what I'm gonna call it. Delicious. We will slide a little bit on each of the buns, let it marinate. Now, this is of course for me, taking the place of ketchup and mayonnaise and mustard because it's already in there. But I am gonna slide me a big old tomato on it because, well, I am a little traditional. And a pickle. I don't know how well they'll stay because this is a nicely stacked big old pub burger right here. Just screaming, whoo, come on, get my belly. So, I think that's what we'll do. We'll set this guy up. Now let's see, put a little lettuce on this one. Just for the show and go, right? Let's get this guy stacked up and get him in my stomach. Hold on one second while I wash the hand. Now before I go chowing down on this one, a friend of mine saw my other video, my peanut butter and jelly one, you know, the one that's linked up right here. And he said, hold on, before you make this burger, because we were discussing it, because it sounded so good. He said, I got the perfect clean your palate drink. He tossed me this Sweet Baby Java espresso bean infused chocolate peanut butter porter. So he says it's the perfect beverage to put the fire out. And I'm gonna see how good you are, my friend. So let's take a bite of this giant pub burger right here. I gotta mash it down a little bit to get it in my mouth because even I can't gnaw this thing in one bite. And let's see what we got. I mean, look at that right there. Ooh, that is some choice, delicious pub burger. I'm a little nervous though. I got 4 layers of heat on this thing. Let's see what happens. Yo, this is good. Like all the flavors work together. And there ain't nothing slapping me in the, oh no, wait, here it comes. Woo, it's got some heat to it too. Oh Lordy, this is gonna be good. Yeah, let me taste your beverage, sir. Oh yeah, excuse me while I eat this whole thing. I mean, dude, the jalapeno from end to end on it, a little bit of lettuce crunch, that homemade sauce with that sweet honey. This will definitely be on the menu again, my friend, many, many times. So as I eat this thing and recover from it, let's get ready for something a little fancy. How about a bacon wrapped bison burger? Woo, bacon, bison, bam, stand by. All right, and now let's get ready for the, hold on. That burger's still hanging on. It had some dang good heat. So now for the bacon wrapped bison burger, we're gonna start out with a pound of bison, which we're gonna mix up with our spag, and then we're gonna take the bacon and we're gonna make a little bacon basket for it to hang into. So not complicated, watch and see. And even though we're dealing with bison and not ground chuck, the rules still apply as far as you don't want to overmix your meat. You just wanna take it and add your spices and mix it just enough until everything's mixed in together. Now, for those of you that are a little bit health conscious, the good thing about bison is that bison is a lean meat, so there's not as much fat to it. The bad thing is, for those of you that are health conscious, we're wrapping it in bacon, so access denied. So let's see, a little more pepper to this one and a little more onion to this one. Don't want to over garlic it. And now we're just going to mix it up and get it ready for the burgers. All right, roughly 2 patties there. Let's set this to the side and let's get into our bacon. Now we're going to start the weave process. We're going to take 3 pieces of bacon. We'll set them out right here in the middle. Nothing crazy, Nothing out of your mind. From there, we take another 3. Well, we start out with 1. We lay it kind of off center just a little bit, and you're gonna pull this one guy back. Now, we lay another one in here. This guy goes back over it, and these 2 come back. We'll set this one down, lay the first 2 back over, even though they're sticking to my fingers. Now the first piece you pull back up, you flip this one, lay it back down, and there you have a nice little weave for this here bun, which we have set up just like our other one did. We're gonna set it in the middle. We're gonna make sure that we got that little bit of a dip in the center, so that way we don't poof, swell up like a meatball. And you take all your bacon and you just roll it back over it. You tuck it in. You tell it nighty night. I will see you shortly, because when we do, this makes deliciousness. And I really don't know if you could ever put too much bacon on it. I'm sure somebody somewhere has, but I don't know you. And when we flip it over, there you have a nice little lattice on your burger. Good little weight too. Let's go ahead and set the other one up for the same effect. And we have our second one. Oh, my friends, this is gonna be delicious. Now, let me clean this up a little bit, get the griddle back on here and get some heat. All right, just like before, we got our surface up to 350 degrees. We're gonna take our 2 lovely looking, delicious moments of flavor. Now, we got the braid up top and we got where it wrapped over. We're gonna put the wrap over part down first. So that way, when it cooks, it'll help seal all that bacony goodness right on in there. Ooh. Oh, man, if y'all had smell-o-vision, y'all would be on this one right now. So, just like before, we're gonna give this about 5 minutes and then flip, and then 5 minutes, and we'll start checking the internal temperature. Stand by. So for all you vegetarians out there, let me just form an official sorry not sorry, because what we have been making today have been delicious. And if you're still watching this, I'm sorry, bro. This stuff is amazing, you know? Just like this amazing footage we got of a Bigfoot. Check him out. He's sitting there high on the mountain somewhere, I think in the Himalayas. And he was just off minding his own business, staring at the world, enjoying life as a whole. Man, you know, if we could all enjoy life like him and just relax and get along, just think what a place we'd be. Just like every time that you turn the subscribe into a subscribe duh, oh, that turns my little life happy. I mean, it keeps me making delicious burgers, it keeps me finding video footage, and hopefully it keeps you entertained. Just like this little piece of bacon right here is gonna entertain my taste buds as soon as it's done. Still waiting on the 5 minutes though. Hold on, we got 5 minutes on this side. Now let's do another flip. Ooh, get this guy happy right here, because I know my tummy is gonna be happy. Now let's go ahead and get our meat probe. Find this little spot on the side and slide them in the middle. And just like with ground beef, we're waiting on this stuff to get up to 165 to be done. Not a lot of difference between bison and meat in this realm. Now, like I say, again, with the fact it's leaner and it has a whole different flavor profile, that's another story. But in the meantime, we're gonna wait on the temp. Standing by. Waiting. Alrighty, we got these bad boys up to 160. They are just about done. So what we are gonna do, we're gonna flip them one last time. I'm gonna set them over here, clear the grill just a little bit. Let's go ahead and toasty up our buns, shall we? We all like nice toasty buns, right? And we are gonna take 2 slices of American cheese. This is the sharp kind, so it's a little slower to melt. But we're gonna set that right up on there. Give it time, about the time, well, this won't take long to toast. About the time the cheese melts down on those, we'll slide them on the burger. Ooh, it's time to eat. All right, we have arrived. Let's go ahead and set these big old Mondo burgers, because I tell you what, a half a pound of meat, woo, that is a filling burger. We'll set them right over here. Let them marinate for a moment. And let's go ahead and get all the condiments ready to set on the burger. Now, y'all know the drill here, right? This is basically a fancy bacon cheeseburger. What do you need on a bacon cheeseburger? Well, come on now. A little bit of lettuce, nice big old thick tomato, some pickles, if they'll cooperate. Oh yeah, a few pickles right there. And the standards, mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup. Oh yeah. A burger ensues. Woo. Let's go ahead and cut her in half and make for the munchies. You know, it is nice that these fancy brioche buns have a nice little line to aim for when you're cutting it in half. Ooh, coming down, coming down. Oh, you hear the bacon crunching? This is a thick burger to try to get through in one smooth slice. But what have we here? Ooh-wee. Steamy deliciousness. Here, let me hold it up to you guys. Oh, look at there. Ooh, the steam presents itself. I tell you what, this is a mile-high pile of goodness. Time to make this guy disappear and get on with the mushroom and Swiss, shall we? And now, the moment we've all been waiting on, our fourth and final burger. That's right, mushroom and Swiss. Bet you've been wondering what we're having. How about ground ostrich? Yeah, you don't see this much in a grocery store, do you? Oh no. Now, all of these, as far as the bison, the ostrich, you could substitute regular meat. But, I mean, if you can kick it up a notch and do something crazy, why not? And the guys over at American Ostrich Farms, they do ostrich right. You really should check out their website. It is an event, to be sure. And you can get free stickers with an order. You just got to know where to find it. It's like an Easter egg. Go looking for it and see. So let's snip this guy open. And of course, we're going to treat it with our spog. That's right, our special combination of salt, pepper, onion, and garlic. Now, while I'm doing this, actually, let me kind of explain a little bit on why ostrich meat. See, there's more to it than just, oh, it's a bird, right? Well, yeah, but it's red meat. It doesn't have near the fat, near the calories. It's leaner than bison meat. So if you want something that's super healthy, super delicious, give this stuff a try. Like I say, put it in an order. They'll ship it to you. You don't even have to do anything crazy like drive to Idaho to get it. Because yeah, they're raised in Idaho. Who would have thought ostrich in Idaho, right? Now we got our spog in here. What we're gonna do next, we're gonna do just like before. We're gonna mix it up. We're gonna get the griddle out. But with these, with the mushroom and Swiss, we're gonna make what seems to be commonly called a smash burger. It's basically a diner style burger. And because it's so lean, the meat on this does not shrink up. So instead of a half-pound patty, we're gonna make third-pound patties, but you're still gonna get just as much meat. Watch and see. We got it mixed up into about 3 even patties. I'm not exactly worried about weighing them out. If one of them's a little heavier than the other in this case, not a big deal. If you're one of those precision people, pull them out, stick them on a scale, and get them to the milligram if you wish. This is close enough for what we're doing. Let me get the griddle, hot it up, and get everything is situated and ready. Let's put a little butter on here for the mushrooms. Yes, yes, yes. We'll get this kind of melted down here a little bit. Don't want no mushrooms to stick, do we? Oh, no, no, no. Tell you what, let's build a fence around the butter. Stop there. There, we're gonna hold you captive now. Gotta have fun, right? Mama said not to play with your food, but oh, I showed her. And also, as you've noticed, when you're on these Teflon coated griddles, make sure you're using plasticware. If you throw metal straight down on here, you can't actually scratch the surface, then you're eating the Teflon and you've messed up your griddle. Why would you want to do that? So we'll let that be. We'll take one of our 3 burgers, smash burger, right? Sounds interesting, simple. You got a Patty there, patty there, and a patty there. Looks okay, right? No, time for the smash. Just put your little doodad on the thingamabob, mash down on it, get it nice and flat. I know, real technical, right? But that's your smash in your smash burger or your diner style burger. Now notice I use metal, but I never scrape the surface. Again, that's the trick. Do not mess up your griddle. I know these things ain't exactly $1 million each, but you don't want to screw it up because then you got to go to the store, buy another one, and then they're out and you wind up waiting and ordering it online and it takes a week to come in. And that whole week you're hungry because you can't do what I just showed you how to do. We don't need that stress in our life now, do we? No, no, no. Now, if you didn't want to do the smash burger and you wanted to have a thicker patty like the other two we made, that's fine. You can do it just like I showed you. You put it on here, you flip it a couple times. But again, because it's lean, you can't flip it too much. These will fall apart. That's where the smash burger kind of comes in handy. You get that nice crust on the backside of it, and that crust kind of helps hold it together. So we got smashes on one side and mushrooms on the other. All right, we got 5 minutes on one side of them. Let's go ahead and flip these bad boys over. Ooh, look at that. Oh yeah. Is that not a pretty hamburger or what? And in that 5 minutes, our mushrooms are done. So we'll go ahead and scoop these guys off onto a plate until we're ready for them. But while we got these guys going, 5 minutes on the other side should be just about right. Let me go ahead and toast the buns while we're waiting on that to happen. And of course, you can't forget the cheese. Now we got about 2-3 minutes left on this side, so let's go ahead and give this cheese a little bit of patience and virtue and, oh hell, what am I saying? Let this thing melt all over it and coat it with goodness, shall we? All right, we have 10 minutes of cooking. It is time for moments of eating. We'll slide this guy off, set him right there. Slide this guy off, set him there. Now you're probably wondering what the third one's for. I got a friend who's doing the low carb diet and all that good stuff. They don't even want a bun on it. So I'm gonna save this for them. Let them have a little sample of the cooking, shall we? And there you have it, mushroom and Swiss. Now, another option you could have done on this, you could have put the mushrooms on the meat and then the cheese and let the cheese melt into it. Either way is fine. It's gonna taste the same, but just, different options depending on how you wanna present it. So let's get this old boy into the slicing mode, cut this guy in half and start making them disappear. Ooh, last burger of the day, last meal of the day. Oh, my. It is time to eat. Check out this thing. Woo, little ostrich meat, little mushroom, little Swiss, a little bit in the tummy. Stand by, folks, it's eating time. Yep, that's a good burger to end the show with. I am gonna be so full tonight. I'm gonna sleep like a baby knowing two things. One, these are awesome burgers that we have made today. And two, Bigfoot is real and really not getting any of my burgers. Not for sharing. Now for the level 4 burger, I've got a pound here of ground chuck. That's an 80-40 mix. The 80-40 mix works out where you've got enough fat to give it the flavor and enough binding to hold the thing together.
It's not 80-40.
You're right. 80-20. What the hell is 80-40?